Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and welcome back to another episode. Oh, forgot to do the overlay again. There we go. So yes, only 2 episodes today, I'm afraid, but that's because I'm saving the next batch of 3 for the season finale, which happens to be episode 13 this time rather than the usual 12. So yeah, we're going to get 11, 12, and 13 at some other point. But indeed, get ready for probably more cringe, but also more jazz pops. First of all, hello, Johnny. Josh, and Citrus, I should say, well, or Cross Heart, I guess, who just apparently changed his name right now. Yeah, I keep wanting to read that as Cross Hair because like the rest of it just appears like nondescript. But yeah, either way, that's Citrus Animations, or the artist formerly known as Citrus. I have no idea anymore, and also Red Coffee Cat. Okay. Also, what was I gonna say? Yeah, more jazz pops. That's what I was going to mention. So yeah, as promised yesterday by Johnny, that there was going to be another jazz pops team up right here. So that's what we're about to see. So this might not quite line up with the whole, Nightmare Forest, Grand Hotel Avalonia thing from before, but it'll be close enough. I think. I'm not sure. Actually, wait, I might take that back because I happened to see a comment from Flowerport 1300, creator of Jazz Pops, that says in episode 9, "Ooh, this is great. I can't wait to see what happens next. Jazz Pops and Disco Pops can't be stopped." Which implies to me that this crossover was done without the any oversight or possibly even consultation from the creator, which is different to the last crossover that they had. But yeah, either way, I'm just wondering because it seems like, oh well, if the creator of Jazz Pops is surprised how much it's going to line up, particularly the kind of first time watching this Gacha review for a specific series. Is this any voice in the chat? Yes, this is made by Wipeout Arena Fan 14, and there'll be a link to the. Oh wait, actually, hold on. I forgot to change the link, so the link is to episode 6 of just Disco Pops in the description, but it's still the same playlist. So just scroll down a bit more than usual, basically. Sorry about that. Okay, I think that's all that's done out of order. All in order. So without further ado, on with the review. Hey, Wipeout fans, welcome to episode 9 of Disco Pops. Oh yeah, forgot description. What does it say in the description? Enjoy this episode of Disco Pops. Nothing. Okay, never mind. Back to here. This episode is going to have the most pops. Because there won't be just 2 jazz pops. For context, there were only, in any other crossover in the past, there were only 2 jazz pops, really, or one at a time, essentially. The entire team will be in this episode. As always, if any suggestions, do them in the comments. But now, on with the episode. And we open up once again in the same space, but they're not leaving to go to a different place, so it's there, fair enough. You got this, Emma, as in, not you got this, Emma. You got this, Emma. Nailed it. I don't know. Emmy seems to be winning. Yes, first place. And of course, okay, so we're back here with Snap Pop, who, if people know, has just recently appeared in, well, recently, relatively by review standards, has appeared in Jazz Pops. So we have a connection, because of course the Blues Pops are all being congregated. So anyway, girls, I think we have company. Groove? Snap, what are you doing here? Better question, where did you two come from? You just teleported in. You didn't even walk inside. You just material. It wasn't even like the animated teleportation. It was just morphed in. You like blue? Well, you're in luck because eventually we're going to get to a series done by Flowerpot 1300, which is called Blues Pops, all about the Blues Pops once they've been found in the season 2 of Jazz Pops. This used to all confuse me a lot as far as like how it all connected, but now I've got like the playlist and I'm going through those in order, and people actually let me do so. Yeah, it's actually working. You like red? Of course you like red. Of course you like red. I like trains. Anyway, sorry, what? They wanted in, they got in. They got in. The end. Roll the credits. Ah, come on. There's more. There's more to this. This is still not the most pops per episode. We need more pops. Wait, you and Mary know these two? Yes, your friend was able to save our pop group when we were trapped in a movie. Emmy, Emma, and Elsa, these are the Disco Pops. The traitor's name begins with a vowel. I'm kidding. That's if people don't get that reference, watch my yesterday's review. Okay. Wait a minute. Where's Pull, Bounce, and Hustle? I'm afraid they're under a spell and have turned evil. Of course they have. Of course. It wouldn't be a Pops episode without someone getting hypnotized to become evil. What? Who hypnotized them? Neither of us know. Snap just noticed Tara said and had a feeling that this was a bungler plan. What about Anna? She, Majesty, and Cheshire might also have been turned evil. Oh yeah, that's right! What was her name? It was like Nurse something compared to Dr. Ruin that Majesty became. I forgot what it was now. Dang it. Alright, Jazz Pops can't be defeated. And I guess they transform via transition this time. Alright, okay. So where do you think they went? Maybe we can teleport to the ship to see if Celeste can detect them. Sorry, my bad. Bleh. Great idea, Ebony. Let's get there. Interesting wipe transition. Oh, okay. You're wipe transitioning the animations now. That's an interesting one. That's what it was. Thank you, Josh. Nurse Chaos. There we go. Oh, see, you know what? See, Johnny, you got yourself a new fan. Congratulations. Okay. Anyways. Celeste, are you there? Oh no. Wait, actually, hold on. I've got to do this properly. Oh no! They must have deactivated her before taking Majesty and Cheshire! You guys, I think I might be able to retrieve them. Reactivated. Hello, Pops. Celeste, did you saw what happened? Did you saw what happened to Majesty and Cheshire? Sort of. Tarazed and two others named Farbuti and Emilia deactivated me before I could warn them. They seem to be at the city causing mayhem. Teleporting to city now. Oh, that's it. Wow, that took like 6 minutes. That wasn't like not much to say at all. Which is weird because this episode, of course, having the most pops, but yeah, I guess there's like okay, interesting. All right, maybe I'm accidentally rushing through it. Yeah, normally does not. These streams are not this short. I guess we'll what else is in here? And thank you for letting me have the entire Jazz Pops in the episodes. Okay, so Flowerpot was consulted for the entire Jazz Pops, but not necessarily the plot itself. Okay. Very different to how we do things in the Butterverse, I assure you. Drop a like if you're subscribed to the channel. Absolutely, do that. Yep. We're getting closer to 100 subscribers. Oh, that was a while ago. Aren't you like approaching 500 now? Yep, 436. Yes, absolutely. And oh yeah, goodbye and big balls was the end quote there. Okay, so pros and cons of this episode. Well, I guess the con is just how fast it feels. I mean, for the setup of like, oh, let's have as the most pops that there can possibly be, the most pops in any episode, it kind of feels like it would be something much grander. As in, what are they going to do together rather than, oh, I guess they're going to teleport to a ship and then we're going to get a scene and then nothing. That's it. So, yeah, I guess, yeah, that's the major con. It feels fast and it doesn't feel very grand at all. As for pros, a few of the edits were interesting in this one. I mean, I haven't seen as many transitions being used in here, particularly for like the magic. It feels like it's much less screenshotty when you have even if it is just still screenshots, it feels less so when it's got like a bit of a fluid like they turn off in order or something like that. Little touches like that, I think, are the pros in this one. It's always satisfying watching someone be controlled by their own will. I guess lose control, not be able to use their own will, would be the reference here. Only to hurt if they care about snap back, wondering what they did, and find out the agony creates such despair. Yeah. So if people don't know, Crossheart / Citrus Animations is the person behind those a few. How to describe it really? Because it wasn't really a series. It was more like several different like snippets and scenes that were going to turn into a series, but then kind of like out of order within like the Piggy, I guess, IP. I suppose if people don't know, that's a game on Roblox, and yeah, actually, that's one of the things. If you go in there, you'll see some voice acting by me. I am the voice of Soldier, the character of Soldier. And also Torture, who doesn't start off something like this, but I eventually distinguish his voice like this in a wave later. So yeah, I play those two. So yeah, enjoyable time, enjoyable voice, absolutely. And who knows, there might be more projects along the way. So go ahead and subscribe. Hey, don't forget about me. I thought this was your favorite voice. I thought the voice of Soldier was the one that was the best one. Okay, I see how it is. Oh, right. Before I get too off track, let's go to the actual rest of the episode. Episode 10. Oh, it is? Okay, good. I didn't want to lose my number one spot, you see. It's very important to me to keep that. Especially how, like, half the people hate me for some reason. I'm not that annoying. I don't think I am anyway. Ah, well, who cares? Right, back to this. So, Disco Pops episode 10. The Disco Pops and Jazz Pops save Majesty, Cheshire, and Anna. This feels like what the previous episode was going to be. Nothing in the description again. But there were a few talks by in between Johnny and Eli about actually the Disco Pops facing the Star Tribe from Jazz Pops and things like that. So, interesting. Making sure to keep that tenuous cinematic universe in tow. Always a difficult challenge to overcome. All right. Now on with episode 10. Welcome to episode 10. I almost read that out in Soldier's voice. Welcome to episode 10 of Disco Pops. Like, I haven't done that in a while. I miss doing that voice. Anyway. I mean, yeah, I could. It depends. We'll see. I mean, who knows? Maybe if the streams the things I do are shorter, they might actually perform better. I'm not sure. We'll find that out. Why would Amy not agree with making the? Oh, sorry, you were referencing this comment here. You're making the first season. Amy's probably not going to like that. Probably because Amy's character has changed a bit since then, or something. I imagine. We'll see what he says. But anyway, let's see what past Johnny says right here. Welcome to episode 10 of the Disco Pops. We'll start right with episode 9, of course. Any suggestions or comments, etc., etc. On with the episode. So Celeste picked up the signal here. How could we find them? I say we split up since there are 7 of us. No, to split up because we're right here. I mean, you can still split up, they're just now the teams are even. That's how that would work. But yes, so the record of the episode with the most pops in it has immediately been broken within like the first 10 seconds of this video. All right. Okie dokie. Bounce, hustle, pull. This isn't you. You're under a spell. They know. Bounce and hustle. Let's hypnotize them. I couldn't agree more. Whoa, what happened? You guys were hypnotized. Luckily, Snap was able to warn us. Ah, you could say you snapped back to reality. OMG, Anna's still probably hypnotized. We still have to save her. Okay, Snap, Groove, Melody, and I will go to Majesty in Cheshire. And they're already splitting up again. They're most likely hypnotized as well. It seems 3 of you have broken the spell. Allow me to fix that. Could you imagine if it was like, oh no, you've broken the spell. All right. Back to being punkle as you go. Wait, what's going on? What happened? Farbuti hypnotized us. So Snap was right. This was a bungler plan. I do like the fact that you've seemed to have coordinated having the green, pink, and yellow pops from both teams in this in formation, like right now in this scene. That's an interesting choice. Yes, the others trying to break the spell from Majesty and Cheshire. Majesty, we know. Oh, what? Hold on, didn't read that. We know you're under Falbuti's powers. I mean, it's pretty obvious. She never wears black unless she's been hypnotized. And so will you, Melody. And if people don't know, that is what Dr. Ruin sounds like in the show. Not if I do this. Oh, come on! There's like no battles in this. It's just, oh, you've been hypnotized to become evil. Okay, great. Enter the pops. Snap out of it. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. You're back to normal. I mean, if it was this easy, imagine how easy it would have been for Majesty to cure Dr. Ruin in the actual Super Pops Season 1, and that whole plot point would have been resolved immediately. You know, Shadow King or otherwise. Yeah, that's but yeah, I don't know. Considering that how many pops there are in here, actually getting to see them use a bit more of their powers than just breaking hypnosis with a literal flick of the wrist would have been nice. Ladies, what happened? Last thing I remembered, 3 bunglers showed up on our ship. You guys were under a hypnotic spell, but Snap and I were able to warn the Jazz Pops. It's official. You say that every time I review one of these episodes. Which, I mean, you know, I understand the impulse because that's kind of my reaction whenever I see the Mutant Girl, and then when I actually get to doing remix, which by the way, good news. You know that long scene that took me like 2 weeks to and was take up like all of my time for that duration. Yeah, it's finally over. I finished it last night, and it rendered today, and it's there. Which means there's only one more scene to do, and then it's just, intro, thumbnail, stuff like that. And angles and shots and sound effects. Which, yeah, within a week, very doable. I'm feeling much more confident about that whole process. And I did take a day to relax and work on some other projects. Which, again, is very nice when I get to do something that's just story-based and well, mostly. I'm not worried about visuals. It's very refreshing. But that being said, I still get satisfaction out of just finishing the darn thing. Absolutely. Had to learn how to animate for that scene. Which, yeah, stay tuned for that, I guess. March 17th. Click subscribe and, Set your calendars. I don't know. Whatever. You guys want to help expel, but just able to warn the Jazz Pops? Yes, you are. I mean, not that you really needed to, because you seem to be able to break out that fairly easily with just one person, but I guess having them all there gives you extra power? I don't know. No. What about Celeste? She got deactivated. Groove was able to reactivate her. I'll teleport to others now. Okay, and that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing the Jazz and Disco Pops work together. Well, I mean, they stood in the same area as each other. I mean, they didn't even get to split up and like search together, like do an actual mission. You honestly oh, right. You honestly didn't enjoy it. Future Johnny is going after past Johnny for this. Oh well. Okay. Yeah. This episode kind of the same issue as last one, where yes, there's you got it's kind of like imagine this is like what Spider-Man No Way Home could have been if you just bring in a bunch of recognizable names for that extra audience boost and collaboration between the channels in this case, or as far as Spider-Man goes to gets butts in theaters and stuff. But but that's what No Way Home could have just been. Oh, you're bringing everyone together. That Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire in one scene or two, then they go back and do their thing. The villains appear for one battle each and they're all defeated. That could have been what it was, but no, like they stay around for the whole time. You actually get to see them interact with each other, and that's what becomes interesting in a crossover. So if you do end up remaking this, the thing I would say is have them spend more time with each other. I know that the Jazz Pops at this point didn't have exactly the most fleshed out personalities, other than Earth Pop, obviously. But maybe have, if that's the case, then maybe like lead the Disco Pops in that direction a bit, or actually talk to Eli, set a point where this was in the timeline, and see if there's any, because they were all doing their Jazz Pop, their Blues Pops mission at the time. So yeah, who knows? In fact, that's a good point, because Snap Pop appears in this, but doesn't seem to have much memory of being with the Jazz Pops, which means that was take place before that episode. Things like that, basically. Again, I'm not watching these in the precise order that they were released on two separate channels, so I might be missing out on that stuff. But yeah, iron out those details, have a bit more of a mission and a bit more of a struggle, and there we go. You're gonna work on art. Okay, I guess we can conclude here. I suppose it's now you know what. Let's go to episode 11. Let's do episode 11. I take it back. I will quickly download episode 11, and then we can finish off with that one instead, and then save 12 and 13 for the season finale, and that be its own thing. Ah, good. It downloaded instantly. Sometimes it takes a while. All right. Well, I guess in that case, here we go. Episode 11. Welcome to this week's episode of the Disco Pops. I'd give a big shout out to Sweet Kale for the idea for this episode. As well as once again to Flowerpoint 1300. Yeah, that's the thing. Normally my streams are like an hour long. It's just because there was like not much to say. That's why I'm thinking. Yeah. So yeah, one more. There's just more detail to go into. Here we go. The flower pot's idea will be in this episode, and cakes will be in the start near the end, or will be next week. I see. Okay. Again, this is probably why this would have worked as a bit of a thing at the end with 11, 12, and 13, but doesn't matter. Any ideas, leave them in the comments, and there might be a certain villain group from another pop series that will appear. I think I kind of spoiled that considering that Eli said in the comments before that it was possible that the the Disco Pops would fight the Star Tribe, but if anything, new heroes and villain combinations are just as compelling, if not more so, than heroes and heroes. So, yeah, let's see. Also, the description says that they're going to go to a zoo. So there we go. That's that. That's that set up. You're such a sand that I'm willing to make representative videos and stuff and kind of make Disco Pop stand out. Oh my goodness! Wait, that's what. Okay, Johnny, that's how you would know who Citrus is. So remember when Emily said during one of the the redesign streams that there was only one person who's ever got 100% approval rate as far as character designs go by Emily standards. Well, that person is Citrus, so you're in good hands. I forgot that's how you actually know her name. Okay, there we go. But now I'm not wasting any more time. On with the episode. What do we have here? Another pop group? And they seem to be friends with the Jazz Pops. For context, this is the Cloaked Master from the Jazz Pop series. Well, maybe I'll go see just how strong these Disco Pops are. Oh, and here we get a bit of a formula break as well. Instead of the Disco Pops starting out the episode in the living room, announcing they're going to a place, I guess they're just at the place now. Yeah, right. That makes sense. Yeah, gotta love that evil. Yes, my very evil voice, of course. I voice actually, that's very similar to my Thanatos voice in Fallen Angels. But Thanatos is kind of way more down here, a little bit more nasally and a bit more with more from the stomach, I think. Because he's not quite evil, but he does have a little bit of his time sometimes. He likes the thrill of the chase every now and then. So he can have fun at the same time as doing his actual job. Yes, very effective. Watch Fallen Angels. Subscribe to Aim the Best. Anyway, moving on. This was a great idea to go to the zoo. I know, I just can't wait to see the animals. Oh god, I forgot that. Yes, the sound. Good. This series is so silent that when there's actual sound effects, I forget that Restream amplifies them by a ton. Let's just turn that down. You guys, Majesty's calling us. Go ahead, Majesty. Disco Pops, I just picked up an alert the Cloaked Master is near the city. Wait, why would the leader of the Star Tribe be at the city? Yeah, okay, this is where normally I would say something to the effect of the audience on the Wipeout Arena Fan 14 channel would not know who the Cloaked Master is or the Star Tribe if they haven't, I guess, without the off mention of the Jazz Pops, maybe if they said so previously. But in this case, because this series kind of was spawned from the other one and it's so closely connected, there's enough audience interconnectivity to be okay, I guess they just kind of know about this, and if not, then it's pretty obvious that it's going to the Jazz Pop based on the comments and the 5.30 references and the fact that Jazz Pops are always been a thing. So people kind of know to check out both. That's kind of an interesting way of how these things connect. I feel like this is what Aiden's writing of connected stories would be like outside of his own channel if he was ever allowed to do so. Because when he originally pitched Fallen Angels to me, he said it was set in the Butterverse right off the bat. But because of the nature of the show, once he just explained it to me and the premise of it and everything, I thought, well, that's gonna if he wanted to be it was set in the same location as the Mutant Girl as well as the same time period, which would have meant that all of these all of these that there's the angel authorities and all the these other supernatural things were going to be happening at the same around the same area as the protagonist of the slice of life dramedy certainly focused Mutant Girls series, and that was a total clash that I didn't want to have because I didn't want to be like, oh well, I guess you know here's this story focused on coming of age and trying to deal with this new scientific movement and things like that, and a huge allegory for body issues of all different types. Oh yeah, but also angels are real. It just didn't mesh with me in that moment, so I said, okay, the thing I'll say is set it somewhere else, and that's why he randomly chose Canada for the setting. Um, but yeah, if allowed to, he would be drawing references to like he would have mutant girl characters that are cameoed in Fallen Angels throughout the whole process, rather than just taking Mrs. Dysart once I no longer had use for her as a character, and and making them have much more of a thing and actually have the shows affect each other's plots way more. Which, yeah, as far as I was concerned, since the Mutant Girl already had they had a different kind of audience to his stuff at the time, I thought, well, maybe let's not do that. Just so the shows I want all the Butterverse things, even if they're the same universe, to work as their own entities. So you can watch the shows and still get entertained, but not be distracted by the wider world unless it's a few Easter eggs rewarding those people who have watched everything or as much content as possible from the Butterverse itself. That's the process. So it rewards people for watching, but doesn't punish them for not doing so. This works as well. It's just a different approach. Whereas like these things work so in tandem that yeah, they're difficult to separate at times, at least on the Disco Pops end. Jazz Pops had the advantage of having a full season before Disco Pops started, so I guess it's a bit more established. But either way, it still works out. So in this case, the lack of clarification of who the Star Tribe and the Cloakmaster are gets a pass. That was a very long-winded speech, but the stream needs padding, so that's what we're doing right now. And yeah, imagine how that would have been. Yeah, I know it'd have been very different. Not to mention, of course, season 2 of Music Girl was already like very planned in advance before that, even when Aiden joined as a writer off in like halfway through. Anyway, whatever. I already had for context, I already had the big twist figured out long before he even started to voice the part. Anyway, why would they just start to be at the city? Let's find out. I'm not sure, but we still have to stop him. The animals can wait. I'm sending you his coordinates now. Okay, you guys ready? Yeah. Disco Pops, let's get groovy. Again, interesting new transition. At the location of the Cloaked Master. So, you must be the Disco Pops. And you must be the Cloaked Master. Yes, and I'll be taking you just as I did with the Jazz Pops. You took the Jazz Pops? By the way, see how like they're already poised for battle here with like their actual powers rather than just like hypnosis stuff. Yeah. Yes, yep. I've imprisoned them and Majesty in my lair. Telling them this and teleporting to this location only kind of invites them to intervene and rescue them in the first place. If you hadn't done that, then you would have like won. The villagers constantly shoot themselves in the foot in this series. And I know what you're thinking. How did she contact you? That was just Celestia, disguised as Majesty. And also with access to all of her communications, apparently. Uh-huh. Right. Actually, there is a saying. I think it actually comes from Witch. But there's that the path to victory is often indicated by the enemy. what that normally means is there's like some sort of oversight the enemy has left, or some or understanding your enemy makes it so that you can exploit their flaws and make, kind of a very Art of War style of resolution for conflict. It doesn't normally mean the enemy is just kind of, give you all the pieces and then, just kind of like win. Unless it's like a not deliberate, that happens too. Anyway. And now to finish you off, prepare to go back in time. Oh, okay, sure, we're gonna go back in. That's an interesting setup, having them go back in time. I mean, obviously, you know how much I enjoy when time travel stuff is done in an interesting manner, like the Guardians, and how much I despise it when it's botched, like in Blood Guilt. So I guess, we'll flip a coin and see what happens with this one. In the next episode, of course. Gosh darn it. Okay. Ah. All right. I have more jazz pops to catch up into and doing these things in tandem, so I am going to stop here, as much as I, think it's kind of hilarious how much this can like carry on and on and on and on. Anyway, leave a like and subscribe to join the Wipeout fans, and what else? I'm still going to get to 100 before Wipeout returns on. Oh, right. Okay. Never mind. That's other details. Yeah. Yes. Goodbye and big balls and yeah. Okay. So yeah, that one was a bit more interesting. It does seem to be that the setup is there, and then once again, oh, we're just gonna wait until later. But maybe it's all like a three-parter towards the end, which is interesting. Three-parter towards the end that was decided by three different people. Gonna be very interesting. Then again, if Flarbot's idea was to have them go to the zoo and they just start the episode off just like in the zoo itself and then immediately leave the zoo to go find the Cloak Master, I don't quite know if that counts. I mean, yes, they technically were in a zoo for like 5 seconds, but I feel like the idea was more so, oh, let's have them enjoy being in the zoo for a bit, maybe see some animals, have some plot thing revolved around the zoo. Kind of like Jazz Pops, one of the episodes there was set in a zoo. One of the traps that was set by the Star Tribe at the time, I think. Something along those lines. Maybe if the Cloaked Master was, disguised with like within the zoo or something, but they had to search through the precinct and go through the animals. They find him, I don't know, in the deep caves of the reptile section or something. I don't know, just go off the top of my head here. Not really sure. Maybe the coldness of the Arctic section with all the penguins. Either way, this just off the top of my head, but but yeah. Oh wait, there's nothing. So really, yeah, I think this will definitely be more satisfying once it's we've seen 12 and 13. But I am gonna stop now because I'll just end up extending forever. So like, it's our season 2. Yeah. I think that was definitely the best one. Like, I'm glad that I did this one here because it still was more exciting than the other ones. Interesting enough, even though the Jazz Pops were only mentioned by name this time. If I feel like again, the only issue here is like have the Cloak Master and then like actually like fight for a bit. I know the Super Pops, the series, the source material doesn't really have too many battles. At least it has them like shooting lasers at each other or a couple of bubbles here or there, some electricity, things like that. Just a little bit to tie in that aspect of them being superheroes, not just kind of like showing up for 5 seconds. That's where to improve it, really. But overall, interesting setup for going back in time. If the Cloak Master can set people back in time, does that mean that he technically could send the Blues Pops back to the past and as if nothing had happened? Maybe that's part of the finale. How much did you and Eli coordinate of this? Interesting. Anyway, let's read the chat and then we'll leave. Wait, hold on. So this is the path of the enemy thing. Mi was a huge villain. However, she did not shoot herself in the leg. If it wasn't for Bunny, she would have gotten away with everything. However, she went 2 years while pretending to be good. Again, I'm assuming that's Piggy lore. It's always interesting because, like, I constantly had to say, like, I don't know any information about the Piggy franchise at all while I was still voicing Soldier. I just kind of like came up with that with like the voice and stuff, and just kind of ascertained the personality from the scripts that I was sent. Anyway, Kyle, when she was backed into a corner, Willow shot her. She would have died sooner, but Soldier ruined it because he believed me was good because me was the first survivor he found. That's another thing about the reason I brought up the whole Piggy thing in the first place was because when Citrus said about liking when people are hypnotized, it's kind of the similar thing because in that franchise everyone gets infected, depending on whichever AU you're in, people get infected in different orders. But yeah, they get infected and then they end up being compelled to just, either infect others or just straight up kill them. Which is where the drama comes from if you end up killing someone in a battle while infected and you end up curing yourself right afterwards. Yeah. Definitely helped me with a few of my crying scenes for Soldier, definitely. One of those things. What am I talking about? Talking about some voice acting that I did for Crossheart's channel in here. All Citrus animations. But yes, indeed, we are about to wrap it up. So thanks everyone for joining, and please leave a like or dislike because your opinion matters. And subscribe to us already. Check out the place in the description. Sorry, it's stuck on episode 6. Scroll down for a bit and you'll find it. But either way, that's the full series. Will be on there. And on that note, until next time, farewell.